Hello everybody, in today's video I'm going to be talking about the progression of Damon Salvatore in Season 1 of Vampire Diaries. Damon's introduction is fabulous, just like him. He comes back to Mystic Falls, I guess for his own curiosity and his own interest, and we get to see him in his truest form, doing as he likes, creating his own rules, behaving in the way that he wants to, because after all, he is Damon Salvatore. And then if anyone objects to his desires and what he does, he just ends them, and he moves on and continues on throughout his life. But I think one of the most awesome experiences and observations that I've personally picked up on from Season 1 of Vampire Diaries is just seeing the progression in terms of how he has transformed into more of a human, or at least thinking more about others. And I think Stefan and Elena, especially from what they endured in Season 1, was really able to bring that out of him. A few examples that I want to mention is, for example, when Stefan consumed blood from Elena, which I think is the first time he ever has in a very long time, probably like 146, 147 years, he reverts back to his old self and he becomes a bit more problematic. He starts lying. He starts even being aggressive, and it's sad because he doesn't want Elena to see him in that way. But that's who he is at that time. And Damon really did care for Stefan. You know, they act like they don't care about each other. They have their own rivalry and quarrels. However, that love and care that he still had for Stefan was very true, as, for example, he looks after him. In fact, him and Elena actually create a plan to make sure that Stefan is taken care of. And what they basically did was they got the vervain shots and injected it in the back of Stefan, knocked him out, put him in a cell in the house, and they did that for his own care and well-being. That was something that he didn't have to do, and we got to see a change in Damon's personality, a paradigm shift in his way of being that has kind of humanized him more. Another thing was when Elena's mom, Isabel, came back to town, started making all this noise, and was basically leveraging Elena against Damon. And Damon even mentioned to Elizabeth when they met up in the mansion, "You're going after people that I care about." He cares about Elena. He cares about Stefan. And even Isabel said, "Damon loves you." Now, Damon made a weird face, but the point is that he does love Elena. He cares for her. He developed feelings for her. He's becoming more of a human, and Elena is able to bring that side out of him, which is a very profound character transformation to see, because early on, like, he was doing what he wanted to do. I mean, he did some things with Vicky, just going out there sucking the blood out of people and causing for, chaos and murdering people, and now we're seeing him become a bit more civil and tame. The other thing that I want to mention is towards the end, when Isabel and Rick went out and acted on their plans. My apologies, not Rick. Uncle Joe, I believe, acted out on their plans. They were literally trying to eradicate all the vampires, and they got the device that Catherine was talking about. And Bonnie lied to Damon, Stefan, and Elena about how she used her magic touch to basically not make it effective, even though it was truly not effective, in the sense that her spell wasn't effective. When they're all in the basement and they get the fuel and start putting it everywhere, and the building's basically burning, and all those vampires, unfortunately, are passing away, Anna is no longer alive. And Damon is there immobilized. He doesn't have his powers anymore, and he sees Anna suffering. And he actually cared for her. He was actually trying to help her, but he couldn't do anything. He didn't have his powers. And then he talked to Jeremy afterwards and told him that Anna's no longer there, and I couldn't do anything for her. And he really cared for her. He empathized with Jeremy because that was someone he really cared for. I think Jeremy probably even loved Anna, to be honest. And to see that side of Damon come out, we wouldn't probably have seen that in the first 4 or 5 episodes, or at least before him hanging out with Stefan and Elena. And that, I think, was a very interesting addition to the story. And then he even went to Jeremy and said, "I erased your mind once, I can do it again. I can take you out of your misery." And Jeremy did not take the offer. Then he even goes on kissing Elena, even though that's really Catherine, and kind of feels for her. And I think even Bonnie, he even apologized to Bonnie or said thank you to Bonnie. These are things that we didn't get to see Damon do, or we haven't even imagined Damon doing early on. So these quantum leaps in his character and him changing is just very crystal clear, and I think it was obviously intentionally put into the story to see his transformation. And he's basically standing out like a sore thumb. So these were a handful of moments that I personally observed through my watch of season 1 that I wanted to point out and mention, that I do think is worth mentioning, because this goes to show his character progression and transformation that is very clear and just very well done and carefully, strategically planted within the story to show that. So those are just some of the big jumps that I've seen in his character that I wanted to mention. If you guys have anything that you think is worth mentioning from season 1, feel free to discuss that down below in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching and have a great day.